Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining us here at the One Conscious Love Network. I'm here with Bart from the Wakachan project. I met the folks of Wakachan when I was visiting Playa del Carmen last winter at a conscious co-working event, which was wonderful. Thank you, all my friends from Conscious Co-working. And Bart is here to tell us a little bit more about it. So Bart, please introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, where you're from, what you do, and how you share your light in the world.
Yeah, that's yeah, nice question to start off with. Hi there. Hi, everyone. My name is Bart Geutjes, which is a very difficult name for most people who are not from the Netherlands. I was raised in the Netherlands, and I'm nearly 50 years old. My God. And I have a family and a beautiful wife, three beautiful kids, from two boys and one girl from 11, almost 7 and 4 years old. And yeah, basically, I got several roles in my life. One of them is husband, the other one is father, and the other one is project developer, and another one could be is a musician because I'm a musician as well.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah, I used to perform every weekend before we came to Playa del Carmen for 15 years. So I did from weddings to big festivals. Yeah, with my own band. So that was pretty cool. So I was like, yeah, dad, husband, rock star, and a project developer. And and then COVID came, and then that's where we discovered, like, it's not so nice to live in rainy Netherlands when you have to be locked down in your home. So we decided to
Mm.
move, and we discovered a lot of things. Well, like for a lot of people, COVID made us more conscious for what's happening in the world, and even more for what we don't want. At least in my case, that was actually fuel for coming to Playa del Carmen because we could live a free life here, and we've been living here for 3.5 years. And it's more, well, as you notice as well, Melanie, when you're here, there are a lot of cool, open-minded people, and you can share your thoughts with, and people are just aware of what's going on, and most people are active in contributing to a better world and bringing light into the world, which question. Yeah, I nowadays consider myself more or less like a light worker, coming from a business background. But I discover more and more that I what I actually like to do is to contribute to consciousness in a broader level. So that's also linked to my soul's mission, which is to inspire people to contribute to a world in balance, and basically coming from healing from inside and then manifesting it to the outside.
Yeah, it's so important, right? That as the world is progressing the way it is, we need more of that for sure. Definitely.
Oh yeah.
And tell us a little bit about your projects that you're working on, because I know it's just so beautiful and I know people are going to enjoy it.
Yeah, thank you. So I've been developing projects for 20 years, but the first 15 years I was doing solar power plants throughout Europe
Mm.
on rooftops and on water even, and on yeah, free fields. But I came to understand that I was not really fighting climate change, which I thought I was. I was more or less brainwashed. Like there is such a thing as climate change, and you can reduce CO2 with solar panels. I don't believe that anymore. I do believe that solar panels can be useful with batteries, and we will use it in our project as well. But I believe that I can contribute to a world of balance in a different way, and that's why I started the project, because I wanted to create a place for my family, a place in the world where we can live in freedom and on a more, yeah, on a more in a more conscious way, and then in balance with nature. And
Mm.
I feel that we lost, most of us in Western societies lost the contact with nature, being integrated in nature, feeling that you're part of nature. And I see that a lot of developers in Playa del Carmen don't understand how to respect the nature. So we want to integrate in the nature, but then also, having a philosophy on how to live a holistic life, which means not only from the head, like most Western people do nowadays, or on a cognitive level, but also from a more social, emotional context, that we interact more from a community, but then in a modern way. So what I
Mhm.
see is I see conscious networks or yeah, people that are working towards that, but mainly that's a lot of them are more like alternatively looking into a lifestyle um, which doesn't fit to the mainstream people. And I would consider myself more in between alternative and mainstream. So I'm building the bridge between those two worlds because I like both worlds.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
but I feel that is a lot of people that have a need to live in a community in a modern way, like we are doing from a holistic lifestyle. So working on your body, working on your soul, working on your mind. You know, all these tools that are there, working on consciousness in general, and yeah, doing that with others in order to co-create. And that's what we're actually doing in Wakachan, which is we are creating a holistic village for yeah approximately 1,000 people, around 400 units, homes, apartments, and lots, where people can thrive in these crazy times, and where you can go to your own holistic school. Your kids can go to a school that is fit to modern times, and yeah, putting things into place that could where our kids can work on consciousness and work on their core gifts and their talents, but also where adults can do they can co-create or can make their new companies, um, where there's a lot of employment. So it's a whole village. It's a mini economy. It's like a mini world in balance, if that's possible. Of course, no, there will be no balance constantly. Of course not. That would be boring too. But more balanced than in the average society. Like,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
so beautiful. And what sort of systems and programs are you putting in for even like for food, for resources that you're going to build within the village?
Yeah, so well, we're building in the jungle, so we can do a sort of density. We can do more than 500 homes, but we'll do less than that because we want to complement our project into the jungle so that we have a lot of green and that we grow crops will mix into the natural habitat. But that means also vertically growing crops, using the homes for that as well, using as much as space to keep the green there. But green is also what you can eat. So it's going to be fruit, vegetables, crops. We have our own water supply, so that the area is full of
Mm.
underground water, which you need to filter because the Mayans, yeah, back in the days when they were drinking it, they died of kidney stones. But the shamans, they learned how to. They knew that they couldn't drink cenote water, so they were drinking rainwater, and they were getting much older. So yeah, of course, in these times we know that we have things as reverse osmosis, and we purify the water. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to have all these means in place that we can have our own food supply, and we can have our own water supply and our own energy supply.
That's so beautiful. And can you tell everyone who's watching, maybe they're not so familiar with Playa del Carmen, a little bit about the region,
Yeah.
like why would they want to be there? Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing is, if you come from the Netherlands, and if you are sensitive, like most of the people are, that we attract, because we attract people that are more than average sensitive, but also more than average busy with consciousness. And when you feel, if you're in the Netherlands, the energy is pretty low. You know,
Hmm.
there's a dense, there's a sort of negative energy throughout the country. There's all these toxics as well in the air, and well, I don't have to tell you about these things. It's happening in Canada as well, unfortunately. But when you're here, you feel like there's more like a pure energy still in the air, and it's also why the Mayans building many temples. So you feel there's like a higher energy, that's why they as well. I don't know if you know this, we call it Playa del Karma. The things go quicker here in a bad way and in a good way. So yeah, you're being challenged as well. But overall, we feel at home here as our second home, maybe first home now, and we feel that it attracts a lot of people that are on the same pace as we are, open-minded, and also the Mexicans. People are very open, friendly, warm. Of course, there's also Mexicans who see as a tourist or an expat and just want to squeeze money out of you. That's there as well. We have to be honest. But in general, we have a very rich social life here, and it's also because the Mexicans that come from Mexico City or the Canadians, a lot of Canadians here, right? A lot of people from the USA, more and more Europeans as well. Yeah, they connect. A lot of we have a large society of Israelis that we know here as well. People just connect, and there's Russians and Ukrainians. The war is not an issue here. There's people don't perceive each other as, oh, you're from this country, so I don't like you. No, that's what we do not feel. That's what we really like.
Yeah, it really is a magical place. You can see why the Mayans, settled there and created this whole city and nation for themselves because it has that beautiful energy for sure. Definitely.
Absolutely.
Yes, yes. So what
Due
are
to
the
this
next?
region. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Oh, pardon, go ahead. No, no.
I was wondering for you as well, what attracted you to come to this region?
Oh,
What
I've
was?
been going to Playa since it was just a little fishing village. But I love going there. It's so beautiful and it's so
Yeah.
easy for us from Canada. Yeah, it's just a flight away and it's just this lovely, beautiful. The nature is so incredible. You touched a little bit on the cenotes, and I know for all the people in the group, they will have seen cenote videos because I bombard them with them. But oh, it
Yeah,
is so stunning.
they are out of this world, right? Yeah.
Yes, yes, such a beautiful natural resource. Yes, absolutely. Out of this
Hmm.
world and very renewing, very fresh and really exciting. So what
Yeah,
are
absolutely.
next for you guys with this project? Are you having plans already to start selling or are you meeting with people? How does it work?
Yeah, because we're Dutch. I'm Dutch. My wife is Polish, so our kids are half Polish, half Dutch, and they speak four languages now, more or less.
Wow, that's
Uh,
great.
yeah, and but we started raising our funds in the Netherlands because that's where I have my biggest network, and because we're living here for 3.5 years, it's expanding towards here and internationally more and more. Um,
Oh,
but yeah, the primary investors come from the Netherlands. One comes from Germany, but the rest comes from the Netherlands. And now we started to do our friends and family deals, as they call it here. So we have sold our first 15 units, just mostly Dutch people,
mhm.
and just to get started to buy the land. So we are almost there to buy the land in total. We already start buying the land for 40% now, and we have 30% and 30% to go. And we're almost closing the startup capital, the funding, and
Yes.
that's Dutchies. And but now we're inviting the rest of the world to enter, because actually the name Wakachan was given to us by a shaman. He said, "Well, this project sounds like the prophecy of Wakachan. So tell me more about it." And then he said, well, actually, Wakachan means the tree of life, but also the Mayan prophecy and the Hopi prophecy that when the old world collapses and the new world arises, and people from all over the world gather under the tree of life to
Mm.
start the new world from all kinds of places, sorts, colors, and sizes. And that's what we're actually doing. So we want to invite the rest of the world to join us.
That's so beautiful. That's lovely. I love that. I love your vision and the project itself. It's just this pure beauty for sure.
It's like a spiritual journey, and more people hop into the spiritual journey, and it's based on resonance. People resonate with the project. We don't have to do hardcore sales. People just, because we're doing this from a kind of purity. That's why I feel like I'm allowed to do this, because I kept an open mind in general. But it's attracting other people with an open mind as well, and so we already start living together, co-creating, And it's not like we have to be together all the time. No, because people are now living in different parts of Playa del Carmen, but we will live together in that piece of land. And it's also, if you don't want to hang out with other people, you just sit in your backyard, which is okay. If you don't want to co-create, if you don't want to do anything, it's not a commune. It's a commune. It's like a neighborhood or a small
Yeah,
village, where not everybody has to like each other, but yeah, most of the times you can find your peers there. That's the whole idea. And
yeah.
yeah, so and I learned more and more. In the past, I was doing projects from coming from creativity. I thought this is my creativity, but I now know more and more it's coming from source. And
Right.
I'm just a servant or servant leader, whatever you want to call it. What makes sense, but and what I do, I put all my things that I've learned in the past from my life into the project, and people are starting putting their passions and their experiences to the project as well, and that's why it's becoming more and more like a real village, but then in a different way than villages used to be established.
Yes, that's beautiful. I love it. I'm going to invite everyone to check it out because it's definitely a beautiful concept and message as well.
Yeah, thank you. And what we want to do is we want to do gatherings with music, and like all kinds of music. Some people are really into rock like me. Others are more into country or western, whatever, or the spiritual music. It can be all kinds of things. For me, holistic living is not that you have to float away in a carpet, although you can do that if you want to, or meditate every day. Yes, beautiful, but also just enjoy life. It's also if
Mhm.
you come from a place from love, it's all about sharing and happiness as well. And I think if you drink a beer, it makes you happy. That's okay. I think it's even healthy to drink a beer every now and then. Without, if I would have to stop using everything that I like, which is supposed that is candy. I love candy. I'm a sweet tooth. If I would have to stop doing that, well, it would make me unhappy. You know. So I
Yeah,
consider that as a holistic lifestyle too.
yes,
Yeah.
happiness is definitely a big part of living holistically.
Right? Although it's my guilty pleasure, but I do take more and more pure chocolate with the 80% cacao, things like that. So I'm shifting there as well. I'm going to different
Good.
places. Yeah, but it's
Yes.
yeah, so yeah. For me, I don't know how long you've been focusing on consciousness and practicing it and meditation and everything, but I've been doing that ever since my father died, mostly. My mother was already introducing me in this world when I was little, and thinking most
Mhm.
of us have their psychic gifts, or I had some of that as well, I think. And then I lost it, or I didn't focus on it anymore. But now, since my father passed away, I think it's yeah, 2008, so yeah, already 17 years ago, I noticed that or I experienced that his soul was passing, and that was for
Mhm.
me a life-changing event because I knew instantly, like, okay, his soul is leaving his body now. Now I feel it. Now I know it. So that changed my perception of life, and that started my soul's journey into what my purpose is on earth. And
Yeah,
I feel that I'm fulfilling this purpose right now through the project as well. So yeah, it has a deeper meaning.
that's so beautiful. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. That's very inspiring. Yeah. A
Yeah,
question
thank
I
you.
like to ask everyone is how do you choose one conscious love every day? And I know you touched on it here and there, but is there anything else that pops into mind?
Yeah, well, my biggest drive is my family because I want to create a beautiful place for my family on earth. And that's coming from love because yeah, my family gives me love every day. Not always. They can give me hate too. But in general, it's still like, hey, I love you. Waking up like I love you and going to bed like I love you.
Yeah.
And so that's my biggest drive. Coming from a place from love and just contributing to something beautiful where not only my family can live a happy life, but people from all ages. From yeah, our youngest one who will join us is in the tummy. It's just in the belly of his
Yeah,
mother. And the oldest one who's coming now next week, who wants to start living in Wakachan when it's established, is 78 years old. So and
amazing.
let's see if he will be the oldest one, or if he will be the father of the village or not. Maybe there will be somebody who's even older who would come. It'd be great. You know.
That's so beautiful. I love it. Very nice. Anything else you wanted to share with everyone watching?
Um, yeah, well, but I'm just curious, if people would see this, who would be interested in coming together. You know, it's not like,
Mhm.
yes, we are it's a real estate project, but it's more than that. What we actually, yes, we need to sell in order, because in this world you need money in order to build. And yes, we have investors, but we share most of our funds. It goes back into a foundation, and we share it with the people who will contribute. That's why we don't want to have big parties entering the project, because we want to give it to the people. And once it's
Mhm.
established, we will give the village to the people. We will not keep it as a project developer. We will live there as well, with our team. Our team members will live there as well, and we're going to give it back to the people. So what I'm curious is if there are teachers for the village, you know, if there are people that would like to work in a restaurant, you know, if there are people who are healers in all kinds of ways, who would be interested in, when they hear this, please join us in the gatherings, or let's see if we can connect, if this makes sense to you. Because I do not believe in hardcore sales, but I believe in resonance. And meeting you right now, this is, I think it's divine timing. You know, as I believe, I work from flow every day, so I just trust source and what's is being given to me in the moment. So for me, it's like, okay, if you see this, including you, Melanie, you're talking to me, what resonates with you? That's what I would like to ask. You know, and if it resonates with you in a way, in a profound way, that says, this might be something for me, please contact us. You know,
Yeah.
that would be great.
Yeah. And connect in a deeper way, right? And then what most situations are like, usually you just kind of look at it and say, oh yeah, yes, that sounds interesting, and here's my deposit. But this is more of a life change, something that you want to get into. And I
Oh
think
yeah.
that your connection with the mind, the body, and the spirit, and the universe, as well as creating this holistic um, village that will be self-sustaining and full of love and compassion. It's just so beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, you feeling it? You're feeling it? Yeah.
Yeah,
That's great.
definitely.
That's the purpose. That's the purpose. And I feel that too. And you come from a place from love, obviously. I feel that too. I resonate with you and with what you're saying. And funny enough, 5 years ago, I would not use this language, but now I am. And I'm totally fine with that.
That's good. Yes.
So making steps. But the thing is, what I see is what I feel, and I sense it as imply as well. But wherever I come in the world, people miss connection, people miss community, and people miss that they're living their purpose. You know, and I feel that most people don't even know what their purpose is. So, what my bigger dream is, or wish, is that people who would connect with us are living their soul purpose already, or are trying to find it. And
Mhm.
ultimately, if we start living together, working together, we'll be friends, whatever, in whatever context you can connect. Uh, in the longer term, I think it's awesome that people will start doing things together from a soul's level, you know, from a long-term perspective, and really connecting to the bigger picture, you know, the oneness, so that we really start doing that. Not only that's a Beatles song, you know, or all you need is love, blah, blah, blah. It's beautiful, and and everybody's singing and happy, and then everybody goes separate ways again. No, I, I would be interested to see of how far can we go with this, you know, without losing yourself into oneness, or and having your own identity still. But for me, the the bigger challenge is, okay, how to do this in the long term, so that as the Hopi Indians develop their new ways of living, or their projects, or whatever you call it, they had a long-term vision for 7 generations, you know, and I would be looking into that as well. How did they do that? How did the Mayans do it? There's so much knowledge that we don't know anymore. And me coming from a very individualistic culture, the Netherlands, like it is right now, oh my God, it's so polarized. People don't have that perception anymore. They don't have that long-term vision. It's me, and greed, greed, greed. And
Yeah.
we need to turn that around. We need to turn
Mm.
that around.
Oh, really beautiful. I know people watching are really going to enjoy this. And uh, I want to thank you so much for this conversation today. It's just an introduction. We'll have to do it again for sure because there's so much more to be said.
Oh
Anything else
yeah.
you wanted to share with anyone before we wrap up?
Well, you're always welcome to join us to see what we're doing. I'd love to show you around where the place is and how it feels for you. It just that's coming from me to you like an invitation, like, hey, if you want to see it, I'll guide you through it. It's jungle
Thank
right
you.
now, but yeah, but you can feel it. And also for others, it's just in whatever way, if you want to contribute by sharing something or your knowledge, or if you see our website, uh, do you miss something, or yeah, whatever comes to mind, we welcome you and we approach you with an open mind. So,
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for being with me today. And thank you everyone for watching. We'll put all the details below in the comments so that you can reach out to Wakachan, to Bart, to Rob, to the entire team there and get curious. Yes, it's going to be a beautiful thing.
thank you. It already is, Melanie. Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much. Enjoy your day.
You too.